I love soups. They just never get old. I don't care if it's hot out, cold out, especially ones that are super simple so I can get in and out of the kitchen quickly. I'm not necessarily super passionate about cooking all day. I want it to be fast, easy, and to promote my health. We are making a lemon chickpea orzo soup with very few ingredients, which is great because it still has tons of flavor. You'll probably have most of these things in your pantry, in your fridge right now. I'd encourage you, right when you're done watching this video, go make this soup because you're gonna love it. The Well Your World way is to make cooking really fast and simple, but also very health promoting. So let's get in here and make some chickpea orzo soup, shall we, Reeb?
We shall.
You invented this, I feel like.
Did I?
I give you a lot of credit because you actually do come up with pretty much all the recipe ideas, and then I'll just make them into something that is real.
We're a good team.
Oh, good. This soup is really like a two-stepper. One pot, two steps. You're gonna do a saute step, and then we're gonna throw everything else in pretty much and let it cook like a soup. You could even skip the saute step and just throw everything in the pot and let this thing simmer for a while, and it'd be great. But we'll do it the fancy way. I'm kidding. If you don't already know, Well Your World recipes are super simple. They're designed that way. It's supposed to make this healthy lifestyle thing more sustainable. So if you're having to go in and make fancy cookbook recipes that are hard with tons of crazy ingredients all the time, then you're gonna get burnt out. I wanna make really fast, easy recipes that keep you from getting burned out. And this soup follows those very Well Your World principles. We've got like two techniques. One's sauteing and the other one's throwing a bunch of stuff in the pot. And if you really didn't wanna saute, you could get away with just throwing everything in the pot, letting this thing simmer, and you've got a beautiful soup. But we'll do the saute. We're chopping up an onion and 3 carrots, throwing them into the tank. Oh, don't forget that garlic. Now we love to use what we call the cheater garlic or jarlic. I love it in this big bottle from Costco. It doesn't take us very long to go through a big bottle like this because I use it for everything. But when you got a recipe with so few ingredients and garlic's kind of the main flavor ingredient, you could amp it up and use some fresh garlic if you want to. With fresh garlic, I've got a great hack for you. It's called the garlic rock. It is a nice big heavy rock with a flat side on it, and then you just smash the cloves like this and the skins just fall right away. Boom, it just falls right out.
Where do you buy one of those?
You buy it in your neighbor's front yard, you know what I mean? Don't tell them, just take it. It could be your yard. Nice garlic rock is handy. And you'll figure out just how hard to smash your cloves. Look at that, boom, peeled, just pops right out. And then after that, you got 2 options. You can chop it with your knife, which is what I always do because it's already there. Or you can grab another tool, mince your garlic through the little garlic press. Just clean it right after because these things get crusty. I love using my knife. I'm good at it, I'm fast at it. So since it's already out and I'm already doing it, I'll just chop it up like this. I just want you to see how easy it is to cook this way. It doesn't require any fancy skills. You can get your health back without taking cooking classes or anything that's overly complex. It's just not worth your time. Unless you're truly passionate about food and you want to make healthy food in the fanciest way possible, then by all means. But that isn't really the Well Your World way.
Chefs rely on so much like oil and fat and sugar and salt to flavor their food, and we actually flavor our food with food.
Food on food, indeed. That is going to be the thing that gets you the healthiest and the fastest. So that's what we're doing. Let's go over to the stove and get this thing sizzling. You may be wondering, whoa, you're putting those veggies into a cold pot? You're supposed to preheat that thing. Who cares? You gotta saute with oil too, they say, but we don't. My stove's really fast. Like if you have a stove that takes a while to heat something up, then maybe you wanna get it going while you're chopping. I get that. Look how fast that was. That was like 30 seconds and you hear it sizzling already. So don't be afraid to break all the chef rules, okay? Follow the Well Your World way. It's the fastest and the simplest, still tastes delicious. But we don't saute with oil because it does not promote your health. It's a bunch of extra calories. There's nothing healthy about oil that you can't get from other whole foods. So we use a lot of water or veggie broth for sauteing to keep things from sticking. I also don't like to use a lot of non-stick. We used to go through quarts and quarts of veggie stock. I'd be storing tons of it and it's expensive. We like to make our own. That's why I invented the Well Your World veggie broth mix, where I can just take a jar of water, add a few teaspoons of the veggie broth mix, give it a little stir, and boom, you got your own veggie broth on demand, and it's way cheaper. This thing makes 22 quarts of veggie broth. So I'll just add a little veggie stock to my pan, and that'll keep things from sticking, but it'll also add a ton of flavor because as the water's cooking off, you're getting loads and loads of flavor. Look at these beautiful veggies. You can see all the liquids getting absorbed, but it's leaving behind this little coating. That's from the veggie broth. It's all that veggie flavor that's getting trapped in here. People are always like, oh, you gotta add the garlic later, a couple minutes after the onions or else it'll burn. Well, I'm not cooking that way. I'm not cooking with oil and in a situation where the garlic would burn. You can get away with thinking a lot less about those chefy things like, oh, I gotta add this at a special time or else this thing will happen. You can hear the sizzle, it's drying out again. I'll add a little bit more liquid and then we'll be like, okay, what's the next step? The veggies are nice and tender. I'm ready to just start adding things at this point. So let's get back to the recipe. Now we're gonna get to adding the hearty stuff, the stuff that makes this soup a full meal. People are always like, oh, soup's just an appetizer or a starter course. No, I eat soup as the main course all the time because I make my soup filling. We're gonna fill up on starches, whole natural carbohydrates, the good stuff, not the processed garbage, cakes and cookies and bagels and all that kind of stuff. Real whole starches, we call them. In this case, we're using chickpeas, which is one of my favorite beans. It's a nice, rich, delicious bean. Today we're gonna try out something I've never used before because this is an Orzo soup. I love whole wheat Orzo. I love whole wheat pasta, but this is a cassava Orzo, a gluten-free that we thought we'd try out today, and it takes about 14 minutes, it says. So what we're gonna do is just start adding stuff to this soup and let it cook. Eventually we're gonna throw in some things like kale and dill, so we might add those items later just so that they don't overcook. It's a very forgiving cooking method, so like we really could add everything all at once.
It's also a very forgiving recipe because if you don't have Orzo, just use what you got.
Also love this soup with just brown rice. This calls for about a cup, which I feel like this box is close enough, and I'm going for it. So we're throwing in our Orzo, 2 cans of chickpeas, which is like 3 cups. Close enough, that's 3 cups. Great job, Reeves. Now we had that veggie broth from before. I'm gonna put in my broth now. We're making it a soup. But now the nice thing about our veggie broth is you don't have to pre-mix it in the jar. It was nice for sauteing, but I'm gonna throw this right in, and then I can just throw in a tablespoon and a little bit. It's about a teaspoon of powder per cup of water, and I can just throw it right in the tank. You don't have to pre-mix it in the jar. Now we've got a soup going. We'll let it simmer and let that pasta start cooking, and we'll go chop up some kale and get that ready to add in a little bit later. Here's another very common kitchen tool that we use, a nice mixing bowl. I like this one because it's got a small little area on the bottom, so it's nice for spinning when you're mixing things. These are just from IKEA. I don't eat a lot of salads, so sue me, but I do love and think it's very important that you get your greens, all your veggies. These are nutrient-dense foods that you need to have in a healthy diet. Take your stems and just pull the leaves right off, and then come in here and just cut. Everybody thinks that if you're eating healthy or a plant-based diet that you just want salads, and come on y'all, make some healthy starchy filling dishes like this. Give us some rice, beans, lentils.
Feed me a casserole.
Anything, just get me full. One of the main flavors in this soup, and one of my favorite flavors, is dill.
Of course it is.
I'm kind of a big dill. We're gonna use fresh dill. You can use dried. Most stores are gonna have some fresh dill. We don't need much. Oh, it reminds me of my grandmother's garden from when I was a little kid. Every time I smell dill. But just pick it off of these big stems, and we'll just chop up, you know, a couple tablespoons worth, and we'll throw it in the tank with the kale. What are you struggling with these days? What is your motivation for eating healthy and making these changes to the way that you cook in your kitchen? We wanna know. Ooh, look how beautiful and thick this is getting. Probably the cassava flour, since we're cooking it in the soup, making it a little bit thicker too, which is pretty nice. I like it. Now that the Orzo is pretty well cooked, we can start stirring in some of this kale. Again, we're using the fresh, but you could use frozen. 2 to 4 big handfuls of chopped kale is gonna make this soup really great. And if it seems like you need them a little more liquid or water or whatever, just throw it in, no big deal. Oh, it smells so good. Get all that dill. You can never get enough dill, you know what I mean, Reeves? Can you guess what another critical ingredient is to this soup? You got it. Black pepper. I love black pepper. It's a lemon Orzo soup, so you gotta have lots of delicious black pepper in there, and we can go straight into the pot. You don't have to wait till it's on the table. You know what I mean? Now there's one more critical ingredient in this soup, and I like to put it in the end, lemon. It's a lemon Orzo soup, and this lemon really makes the soup sing and dance. It is so, so good. But if you put it in too early, it kind of cooks off. This is one chefy thing I've learned over the years, okay? Just the one. So 1, 2, 3 lemons, whatever, but it really adds a nice flavor, a real good balance to this soup. I love these lemon squeezers. If you don't have one, it's a great way to get all that juice out of the lemon. It's pretty darn efficient.
Oh, it smells good now.
Yeah, you can smell all the lemon. It's delicious. There's one other thing I want to talk about, and that is some fat. You know I said no oil earlier. This is tahini, by the way. This is just ground sesame seeds, and I like to add maybe a couple tablespoons or even up to a 1/4 cup in a big pot of soup like that. It adds some richness, and you're probably thinking, whoa, that has oil in it. There's a distinction I want you to understand. This doesn't have any added oil. The ingredients are 100% organic ground roasted sesame seeds. If weight loss is your #1 goal here, then maybe you need to leave this out, but it adds a nice richness for a simple soup like this, so we like to add a little bit. All right, I'm gonna throw in a little tahini now, and it'll kind of melt right into the soup. I think it's gonna be delicious. Let's go taste it. Let's talk about salt. We've got this little ramekin of salt. Now that may confuse some of you because you're like, what? All your products and all this SOS free, no added salt, oil, or sugar? Exactly. All the ingredients that you actually cook with should not have added salt. Don't confuse that with sodium. Everything's got some sodium in it. So now, if you can tolerate a little bit of salt and still keep your blood pressure under control and the rest of your health, then maybe now is the time to add a little bit of salty flavor to your bowl. Just a pinch of salt like that. Let's get this thing. Oh boy, that is good. The kale is delicious, kind of al dente. There's like a little bit of crunch to it, but it's also not soggy. The veggies are cooked just right. The orzo is all right. I would go with the whole wheat orzo. I love whole wheat orzo compared to some of the gluten-free options. It's full of beans. It's got the pasta. You're gonna get full and satisfied from this meal. This is gonna fill you right up. The Reeves taste. All right, Reeves, tell us what you think.
That is singing to me. I love the lemon. You know, I'm tasting this on camera for you, but I eat this every single week for lunch. I love the orzo. I love the chickpeas. It's so hearty. This one's Reeves approved.
The recipe for this one's down below in the description box, and if you like the instructional tips along the way, let us know and we'll keep doing that for you. Have a great day. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.